Have you ever felt like someone was watching you? Like a pair of eyes hidden in the darkness, tracking your every move? This is a story about a midnight visitor, a visitor who came when I was most vulnerable and left me with a fear that still haunts me to this day. It started one winter night when I was 15. My family had gone on a trip, leaving me alone in our big, empty house. I was thrilled to have the place to myself, even though it was an old house, full of creaks and shadows that seemed to come alive after dark. But that night, it wasn't just the house that felt alive. It was something else. Something I couldn't see, but I could feel watching me from every corner. As I lay in bed around midnight, the silence was shattered by a faint scratching sound coming from downstairs. At first, I brushed it off, thinking it was probably just the wind. But then I heard it again, closer this time, just outside my bedroom door. My heart began to pound. I got up, opened my door slowly, and peered down the hallway. The light was dim, but I could make out faint footprints on the carpet, leading away from my room. Footprints that hadn't been there before. I crept down the hall, following the footprints as they led me toward the basement stairs. The basement door was slightly ajar, and from the shadows below, I could see a flickering light. My hands were shaking, but I reached for the light switch, hoping that whatever was down there would disappear under the harsh glow of the bulbs. But when I flipped the switch, the basement remained pitch black. The bulb had burned out. Against my better judgment, I went down into the basement with only my phone light. The deeper I went, the colder it felt, like I was descending into another world. At the bottom of the stairs, I noticed something that made my blood run cold. A crumpled old note lying in the center of the floor with my name written on it. I dropped the note and sprinted back upstairs, locking the basement door behind me. But just as I was catching my breath, I heard a faint whisper right behind me. "You can't escape me." My body froze. I could feel cold breath on my neck, and when I turned around, no one was there. I spent the rest of the night huddled in my bedroom, too afraid to move. I thought I was safe until, around 3 a.m., I heard footsteps slowly making their way up the stairs. I held my breath as they stopped right outside my door. And then, a loud, deliberate knock. I couldn't bring myself to answer. The doorknob slowly twisted, but the door was locked. I heard that same voice from the note whispering from the other side. "Let me in." It repeated over and over like a chant. After what felt like an eternity, the footsteps faded away and everything went silent. I didn't sleep at all that night, watching the door until the first light of dawn broke through my window. When my family returned the next day, I told them everything. They thought it was just my imagination, a bad dream, but I knew better. That night had felt too real, too vivid. And then, as I was cleaning up, I found something that made my stomach drop. Another note slipped under my bed. To this day, I haven't seen or heard from my midnight visitor again, but every now and then, I still hear that faint whisper. "I'll be back." And every time I wonder, is he still out there, watching, waiting for the right moment to return?